The Skywalker Saga has ended. It's been a week since Star Wars weekend, last time we can say it for a while, and the Rise of Skywalker's opening in theaters December 20. Hey guys, this is Timzster. I'm going to be talking more detailed thoughts on Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the final installment of the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker Saga as a whole, Episode 9. Well, it's a lot to take in. So if you haven't seen a Star Wars movie at all, I suggest you backtrack and you watch it. And this movie as well, because I'm going to be talking spoilers in this video. And I hope, as you're watching this, you've already seen it. In the Philippines, we only got the movie for 3 days, from December 20 to 22, because they had to take a short break from Western releases for the Metro Manila Film Festival. The movie will run its proper theatrical run on January 8, 2020. So if you haven't seen Star Wars yet, I suggest you stop watching this video right now. Wait, watch it, then come back. Okay, so we're gonna be talking spoilers. Rey, the mysterious Rey. We find out she is the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, once again played by the returning Ian McDiarmid. And I enjoyed Emperor. That plot twist kind of got discussed by fans, but the one thing I do not enjoy about The Rise of Skywalker, even though it's an okay Star Wars film, is that it crammed a lot of plot points, and things would have benefited the movies more if they extended it a bit. Maybe add a movie or two instead of making it just a trilogy. But Lucasfilm and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy decided just to make it a trilogy, sequel trilogy, much like the other movies in the past, but they had so much to play in the sandbox, and they had to sacrifice some things, put things on the side. Rose Tico, for example, a prominent player in The Last Jedi, but now she gets less than 2 minutes of screen time in The Rise of Skywalker, which again is once again directed by J.J. Abrams, who directed Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Among the three films, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, I still enjoy The Force Awakens. Even though there are rehashes of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, the original trilogy, it still felt very solid, and I guess it's because we haven't seen a Star Wars movie in 10 years, from the time it opened and then the end of Revenge of the Sith. And being the new Disney era of Star Wars films, it was an experience. And I'll get more into that. A Star Wars experience is something to behold, something to walk into theaters or cosplay. Yeah, I cosplay this guy, Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver. And him being the supreme leader in this movie after killing Snoke in The Last Jedi. It's been a year. A year has passed in Star Wars time since those events occurred. And right now we rush down to Emperor Palpatine being the puppet master, the guy who controlled everything from Snoke to establishing the First Order. It felt unearned, it felt rushed, and I understand they were going for something where the Emperor, or Darth Sidious, was the guy behind everything. But it suffered. The plot really suffered. It just worked with whatever it could salvage or scrap together. And the Star Wars films under Disney have gone through a lot of creative debates and changes. I mean, the original director for Episode 9 was supposed to be the guy who did Jurassic World, but he left due to creative differences. And even moving forward, the Star Wars movies were supposed to be handled by the guys who did Game of Thrones, the showrunners, but that also fell out of place. I guess they got cold feet after what went down, the mixed opinions of the fan base towards the final season of Game of Thrones. And the same could be said for Star Wars. I mean, it has its share of nitpicks and people who just aren't satisfied. And we're in a generation with social media where people are gonna express what they feel around the world: love, hate, what could have been, hardcore fans, new fans, wherever you get it. And it's warranted. People are entitled to their opinions, like this video right here. But we just need to take a step back and remember that these movies are fantasy. We're there to go to the theater, walk in, love it or hate it. We're there to enjoy. So we won't be getting a Star Wars movie in a while. They're gonna take a break, rightfully so, thank God. I mean, with the messes of Last Jedi, which wasn't a bad movie, but I didn't like Canto Bight. That plot that... Even more so now with the Rise of Skywalker, they just had to wrap things up. They brought JJ back from Force Awakens, and I enjoy JJ's stuff. I think he did great with Star Trek Into Darkness, and The Force Awakens. Rise of Skywalker was okay. It's serviceable. But right now, we're gonna take a break from Star Wars movies, and everything else can be caught in different forms of media and books. And The Mandalorian, of course, that's awesome. That was in Disney Plus. The second season has been announced for fall 2020, so you can catch that there. Baby Yoda, Mando. And we're gonna get a new Star Wars Clone Wars also. So there's no shortage of Star Wars stuff, even in the comics. In the comics, I'm reading The Rise of Kylo Ren. So it's a prequel showing how Ben Solo became the Master of the Knights of Ren and under Snoke's tutelage after his falling out with Luke Skywalker. Speaking of Adam Driver and Kylo Ren, wow, it just... Again, these movies would have benefited with more movies. And cosplaying Kylo and being a Kylo guy, I think his arc through all three were okay, but expound, do more, give us more. I mean, at the beginning of this movie, he's already in a fiery planet, which we didn't know till we read after watching the movie. It's Mustafar, the place where Darth Vader was born. He was burned by his battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He made it into his castle. We didn't know that. He had to find a Sith Wayfinder. That's the MacGuffin there to find the Emperor. And the Emperor being the puppet master for all things. He was controlling Snoke. He made Snoke clones. How did he come back? There are so many questions. And the Resistance and the Rebels. One thing I will say that I'm impressed with is how JJ used stock footage or footage that they never used in the past movies with the late great Carrie Fisher to make a seamless narrative where she still interacts with the cast and she's kind of aware that the Emperor was the puppet master all along. I mean, it's unbelievable, but that's the power of technology today, and I'm glad they didn't use CG or another stand-in just to complete their scenes, with the exception of some past flashback stuff, but that's beside the point. The important thing is that it is Carrie Fisher there. It's fitting, and she gets the headline. Her name is mentioned first. That's great. And Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. Yeah, he did his Force sacrifice in the last movie, and here we see him as a Force ghost, so it comes full circle. And it's a bit more on the hopeful side this time. People were complaining that old man Luke was despondent and he wasn't really very Luke Skywalker-y, as Mark Hamill himself said. This time, he's a Force ghost, he helps out Rey. And we also see Ben Solo's redemption and a returning Han Solo as a memory of Ben Solo, so shout out to Harrison Ford for doing that. And we finally get to see Billy D. Williams back as Lando Calrissian, and he gets to play his part too. But again, they can only do so much in a over 2-hour movie. You had to wrap things up, basically end the Skywalker Saga, and Palpatine does his thing, throne room sacrifice. Then I wish there was just more exposition, and they extended to more movies to explain how this all turned out. We never even got an answer as to how Maz Kanata found first and gave that lightsaber of Anakin's, Luke's, to Rey. Passed to Finn first, but then to Rey. How did she get it from Bespin? So many questions, and if you're gonna start nitpicking like that, you're not gonna enjoy your Star Wars experience. But for me, I walked in without reading any reviews. I walked in on opening day, December 20. I recorded my initial reactions, and I'm still gonna stick to that. It's decent. It's okay. If you enjoyed the other movies in the past and you just want to enjoy a Star Wars film, just walk in and watch it. It's decent. That being said, I don't know how you're going to feel about it or how you feel about it, but everybody is entitled to their opinion. But the important thing is, it's a Star Wars experience. We walk in, we dress up. I dress up as Kylo Ren, or other people dress up as Rey, Poe Dameron, or Stormtroopers, or Darth Vader from past movies, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. We all go in as fans to enjoy Star Wars. It's an experience. It's an event. And now we're gonna take a short hiatus, rightfully so, from all of these before we get to see the next Star Wars film or whatever project they're going to announce. Next year, we'll learn more news from Disney and Lucasfilm. And hopefully they get their act together. But for now, concentrate on the smaller screen. Mandalorian, Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Great novels, comics, anything. We're just gonna take a break for a while. So, right now, we're looking forward to the new year. I hope 2020 brings us more blessings. And more blessings for pop culture and media. Like Star Wars. So, thanks guys for watching. This is just one man's thoughts. And I'm sure you have your own. But thank you for watching this. And if you haven't caught Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and you've watched all of these things I've said, which are spoilers, and you still are going to watch it, I hope you enjoy. In the Philippines, it will come back on January 8, 2020. And then, see, more reactions, I guess. So for now, happy holidays, belated Merry Christmas. I hope you have a happy New Year, and may the Force be with you. Always. This is Timzster signing off. Bye, guys.